Raiders Nation, buckle up. It's Michelle here, and we've got some jaw-dropping news from the Silver and Black. Big changes are in the air for the Las Vegas Raiders, and you won't believe what some analysts are suggesting. But first, let me ask you, are you ready for some real Las Vegas Raiders news? Could the Raiders be about to part ways with a key player? That's right, we're talking about none other than Kolton Miller. Stick around as we dive into this potential blockbuster move and what it could mean for the Raiders' future. The setup after a disappointing 4-13 season and a brutal end with 10 straight losses. The Raiders are looking at every possible move to turn things around. The team is under new leadership with head coach Antonio Pierce and general manager Tom Telesco, both of whom are tasked with rebuilding this once proud franchise. But what does rebuilding look like for a team that needs to find its footing? It's not just about new players. It's about making tough decisions on the current roster, especially when it comes to key positions like the offensive line. The rumor, here comes the shocking part, Raiders fans. Analyst Anthony Miller has thrown a bombshell into the discussion, suggesting that the Raiders should consider trading left tackle Kolton Miller this offseason. Now, this isn't just idle chatter. It's a calculated suggestion based on the team's current dire needs. Trading Miller could be seen as a bold move, but it's one that could set the stage for an entirely new era for the Raiders. But is it really the best strategy, or are we risking too much for a potential future gain? Kolton Miller's performance. Let's talk about Kolton's performance last season, because it was nothing short of impressive. He was ranked 14th overall by PFF, showcasing his skills with an 11th place in pass blocking and 31st in run blocking. He's been a consistent performer, a rock on the left side of our line. But with performance comes expectations. If the Raiders are looking to shake up their strategy, does Miller's stellar play make him a luxury we can't afford? Or is he the foundation we should build upon? The financial angle. From a financial standpoint, trading Miller could free up a significant amount of cap space. We're talking about $12.3 million here, which could be used to sign new talent or secure draft picks. It's about making room for the future. However, every financial decision has its trade-offs. By trading Miller, we're not just moving money around. We're potentially destabilizing one of the most critical positions on the field. Is the short-term gain worth the long-term pain? Scheme fit. With the arrival of new coaching staff, there's talk about a new offensive scheme that might not align perfectly with Miller's strengths. Schemes change, and players sometimes don't fit as well as they used to. It's a tough pill to swallow, but something every team has to consider. Yet, the question remains, do you trade away a proven talent because of a potential mismatch, or do you adapt your strategy to utilize what you have? The Raiders have to weigh this carefully. Contract considerations. Here's another layer to this complex decision. Miller's contract. It's set to expire after next season, and if we don't trade him now, there's a risk of losing him to free agency for nothing. It's a classic case of strike now or lose later. But does that mean we should play it safe and trade him for whatever we can get, or should we bet on him re-signing with us? These are the questions that keep the front office up at night. The stability factor. Kolton Miller has been with the Raiders since 2018, offering rare stability at left tackle, a position where consistency is gold. He's been through the ups and downs with us, part of the Raiders family. Trading him could disrupt that continuity, especially when the offensive line has been one of the few constants in our otherwise turbulent seasons. Is shaking up stability the right move for a team looking to rebuild? The replacement dilemma. Here's the kicker. If we trade Miller, who steps up, there's no clear replacement on the roster, and finding a quality left tackle isn't like picking up a free agent at the grocery store. It's a significant risk to take. We might get draft picks, sure, but those picks come with the hope, not the guarantee, of finding someone as good as or better than Miller. It's a gamble with our line's integrity on the line. Fan reaction. What about you? The heart and soul of this team. Raiders fans. Should we trade Kolton for draft picks and cap space, or keep him for the stability and skill he brings? Your voices matter in this debate. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Let's get a dialogue going, because this decision doesn't just affect the team. It affects us, the fans who live and breathe Raiders football. Potential trade partners. If we were to trade Miller, who would be interested? Teams in dire need of a solid left tackle would be lining up, but what could we realistically get in return? It's all about finding the right match. The market for a player of Miller's caliber could be hot, but the Raiders would need to ensure they're not just trading for the sake of trading. The return must be worth losing such a key player. Historical trades, remember when we traded Khalil Mack? That move didn't exactly pan out as hoped. It left a void on defense, and we're still feeling the repercussions. Are we about to repeat history with Miller? Every trade has its lessons. The Raiders need to look back at past moves, learn from them, and make sure they're not setting themselves up for another long recovery period. The emotional impact, trading Kolton, isn't just about numbers on a spreadsheet. It's about losing a piece of our identity, our family. Players like Miller become more than just athletes. They're part of our story, our legacy. How would you feel if we saw him in another team's colors? It's an emotional decision as much as it is strategic, and that's something to consider deeply. Looking ahead, if the Raiders struggle again this season, this conversation might not just be speculation anymore. As the trade deadline approaches, we might see Miller's name in the headlines once more. Let's hope the team performs and this becomes a non-issue, but if not, we need to be ready for all possibilities. The future of the Raiders could hinge on these types of decisions. Interactive segment, Raiders Nation. Now it's your turn. I want your input, your passion, your thoughts. Should we trade Kolton Miller? Share your opinion in the comments. Let's make this a community discussion. Your feedback could influence how we view this team, so don't hold back. After all, we're all in this together, pushing for that next silver and black glory. Outro, that wraps up our deep dive into the potential trade of Kolton Miller, Raiders fans. If you enjoyed this breakdown, give this video a like, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications for all the latest Las Vegas Raiders news. I'll be back with more updates, so stay tuned, stay passionate, and let's keep this conversation going. Go Raiders! Hey, Raiders Nation, Michelle here, and I've got some news that's going to make you want to put on your silver and black gear. Is Kirk Cousins the quarterback we've been waiting for? Could he be the key to bringing glory back to Las Vegas? Stick around, because we're diving deep into why the Raiders should consider Kirk Cousins this offseason. Imagine Cousins throwing those precise passes to Davante Adams, lighting up the scoreboard at Allegiant Stadium. But is he just a flash in the pan, or can he really be the bridge to our future success? Let's break it down. All right, let's get into it. Since Derek Carr left, the Raiders have been on a quest to find that quarterback magic. We've seen some sparks, but nothing consistent enough to lead us to the playoffs. The team's management knows they need to fix this, and they're looking at every possible option out there. Among these options, one name that keeps popping up is Kirk Cousins, formerly of the Atlanta Falcons. Could he be the answer to our prayers in the quarterback room? Let's explore the pros and cons of bringing him aboard. Cousins was supposed to be the answer for the Falcons when they signed him to a massive 4-year, $180 million deal. He started off strong, giving hope to a franchise that needed it. But as the season progressed, his performance dipped, leading to him being benched in favor of rookie Michael Penix Jr., someone we were all hoping the Raiders would draft. This situation has left Cousins in a precarious spot. The Falcons are likely to cut him post-June 1, taking a significant cap hit. But for us, it means potentially snagging a seasoned quarterback for a fraction of that cost, $37.5 million in guaranteed money. Financially, this looks like a smart move. The Raiders wouldn't have to break the bank for Cousins, which would allow us to invest in other areas of the team. But the real question is, can Cousins still perform at an NFL level? At 37, Cousins isn't the young gun he once was, but he's not out of the game either. His experience could be invaluable, but it's a risk. Is it worth it for a potential short-term boost? Remember how Cousins played before his injuries? He was known for smart decisions and timely throws. His 2024 season might have been a low point, but there were moments where he showed he could still play at a high level. His Achilles injury was a setback, no doubt, but before that shoulder injury against the Saints, he was showing signs of his former self. The question is, can he bring that back here in Vegas? Let's look at how other teams have handled similar situations. The Pittsburgh Steelers took a chance on Russell Wilson with a prove-it deal. Could Cousins do the same for us, providing stability while we groom a younger quarterback? But here's the catch. Cousins left Minnesota because he didn't want to be a bridge quarterback. Would he accept that role now, or does he still see himself as a starter for years to come? Transitioning to a new team, especially under Chip Kelly's system, would require some adjustment for Cousins. It's not just about learning new plays. It's about syncing with a whole new team dynamic. If he can adapt and stay healthy, Cousins could provide the veteran leadership we need. His experience might be the perfect complement to our younger players, helping to elevate the entire offense. Some might argue why take a risk on a quarterback on the decline. But here's another way to look at it. Could Cousins still compete effectively in 2025? If he can, he might just be the short-term fix we're looking for. The Raiders have been in a bit of a quarterback carousel. Maybe what we need isn't a new face every season, but someone with experience who can steady the ship while we figure out our long-term plan. Imagine the synergy between Cousins and Adams. Could this duo light up the scoreboard and turn games around? It's an exciting thought, bringing a bit of that veteran stability to our explosive offense. But it's more than just the stats. It's about leadership. Cousins could be the voice in the locker room that we've missed since Carr left, guiding our young players through the highs and lows of an NFL season. I want to know what you think, Raiders Nation. Would Cousins be a good fit for our team? Should we take a chance on him? Or are there better options out there? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. It's all about community here. Your opinion matters, and together, we can discuss if Cousins is the right move for the silver and black. Let's be clear, Cousins isn't our future. He could be our now. We need someone to manage games while we find that long-term solution. Could Cousins be that guy? It's a gamble, but in football, sometimes you need to take calculated risks. If it pays off, we're looking at a revitalized offense. If not, we hope we haven't set ourselves back too far. I've been checking Raiders news and Las Vegas Raiders for any updates, and while nothing is set in stone, the buzz is that Cousins might indeed be on the market. Keep your eyes peeled, because this could heat up soon. Every day brings new possibilities in the NFL. If there's any breaking news regarding Cousins or any other quarterback moves, I'll be the first to bring it to you here. What's your game plan, Raiders Nation? Do we go all in on a rookie, or do we stabilize with Cousins for a season or two? Let's strategize together. Every decision impacts the team's future. Whether it's drafting new blood or bringing in experienced hands like Cousins, it's all about building towards that championship. Make your voice heard. Like, comment, and subscribe for more Las Vegas Raiders news. Share this video with your fellow Raiders fans, and let's get the discussion going in the comments. Remember, this is your team too. Your engagement helps us push the Raiders forward. Let's make our voices count in deciding the future of our beloved team. So, Raiders Nation, Kirk Cousins might just be the piece we need to reignite our offense. Let's